All right, folks, the LocationScore lads here to talk all things average vendor discount. And I suppose it's, again, the obvious question is, what is the average vendor discount, boys?
So the average vendor discount is basically measuring what the asking price started on the advertised website. How much did that change throughout the campaign? So if there's a big discount, obviously it means that property hasn't got that underpinning demand to actually get the value that's looking at. So we collect that data at the start, and then we basically see exactly ultimately what it sold for.
Why is that actually important, Jeremy, in terms of, I mean, if someone's just out in the field, how can they use that to their advantage?
Okay, well, it all comes back to supply and demand again. So picture a market where demand exceeds supply, and by a significant degree. You can picture a vendor not having to lower their price by very much to get a sale. You can see that they're going to be getting great offers from possibly multiple potential buyers. So they don't need to discount their property by very much. And the discount, therefore, correlates quite closely with high demand, low supply, and of course supply and demand are the only determiners of price growth, so it's a key indicator.
Yeah, it is a really key sign, isn't it? Because often people think, well, here's an advertised price. If I can haggle down and get some off the price, and that's a good result. But if people are staying firm, their posture is strong. Investors can use that as a really strong indicator, can't they?
Yeah, they can. And look, there are still some blind spots because obviously, if the property's going to auction, then there's no advertised price. So we're not necessarily collecting that initial data point. In regional towns and in sort of larger sort of regional centres, terrific, isn't it? Because most of the agents will put a price point on their advertisement, and that's when we're collecting it. But in some areas, there's a bit of a challenge, isn't there, Jeremy?
Yeah, well, it comes down to how the real estate agent wants to advertise the property for sale. Most of them will set a price that's way above what they really expect.
No.
So things like offers above 500,000, we've got no idea. What was the original asking price? But if it starts at 500,000 and they sell for 480,000, that $20,000 discount, you've got to measure. So there are some issues with reliability. You can get quite a small or thin sample size, which can make the figures a little hard to accurately calculate.
And the problem is that it sounds like a very simple measure, but to be able to have someone manually do that across multiple suburbs is the real challenge. So it doesn't sound that tough, but actually being able to do that across many markets is the real challenge.
Yeah, and you've got real estate agents who list a price with some sort of peculiar description. So you might have offers above, or you might see suits buyers with 500 plus
budgets.
So analysing the text of the price description when it comes in so many different forms is definitely a big challenge.
And there's regulatory challenges in there as well, because in some markets they're actually starting to see the state governments regulate how you can promote the property. So ranges greater than 10% are banned in some areas. So you can't have a range from, say, 500 to 600,000. You've got to keep those ranges in tight. So it doesn't work that great in auction areas, so in really high auction areas, because we just don't get a statistical reliable number. But it certainly works fantastically in some of those sort of areas where it's private treaty sale country, and that's where you get the best results.
What do you see as a good vendor discount? What if you see that's a sign I'm in? What does it look like?
Well,
for you?
long term, I've noticed it's around about the 7% mark is about normal. So anything around 5% or less, I think, is a great indicator that there's higher demand than supply. Anything above about 10%, I'd be avoiding those sort of markets, or at least being cautious of that kind of market.
There you have it, folks. If you're looking to do some research on some properties, have a look at the average vendor discount.